Hey guys, welcome to a little video about this proxies, magic card proxies. I got these from a friend of mine who ordered them in the internet for, I think he paid like $45 for these. Everybody talks about proxies, and a lot of people on the internet talk about how they got better and how there might be proxies now that are fooling people even at bigger tournament level. I got these from a friend, so I can review them here for you. So yeah, let's have a look at those. Before we start, I just want to say I don't have anything against magic card proxies. I myself am a casual commander EDH player, and I play draft, and that's it. So I use proxies. I wouldn't go buy proxies like these, as you will see in a moment, because they are a little too much like, they feel too much like fake cards to me. When I use proxies, I like them to be clearly marked as proxies. I also like them to look like the original card, because I don't want to disturb the overall visual style of the game. I don't want to break anything. I also use all the original tokens. I don't really like third-party tokens, but that's I guess a matter of your individual taste. I really want to have the cards marked as proxies. I don't like cards that kind of seem like they're made to fool people, you know. So I just wanted to say this. I use proxies for two things. I use them for brewing, for like when I'm building commander decks. I'm always like building 4 or 5 commander decks at one time, and I don't want to go out and buy like 10 Cyclonic Rifts and 10 Sensei's Divining Tops and all those cards that you need in almost every deck, all the staples. I'm good with like 2 Tops and 2 Cyclonic Rifts, and that's it. So I have a couple of proxies for those. And I also don't like to spend more than like $40-50 on a card. I think that's ridiculous. I don't want to spend like $80 on a Chase the Mind Sculptor, and if I have an idea for a deck where I like to use him, I'll use a proxy. And I think that's okay, and this is okay as long as you have a play group where everybody is okay with this. That's just something you have to talk to the people you're playing with in the end. So, with this out of the way, let's have a look at these proxies. So there is a couple of sets you can get. There is this site on the internet where you can order these, and they have like sets where you can't really say what cards you want. You can just order like a set, as far as I understood. And then you get like, I think it's like 50 or 60 cards, something like this. I don't really want to talk about the Power 9 cards, because it's I don't care about those. Maybe just a quick comparison. I think nobody will believe you anyway that those are real, and you don't want to fool anyone anyway, so doesn't really make sense. Maybe just a quick comparison. I don't really have really old Magic cards, not that much. The closest I can come to this is maybe Arabian Nights, done, and well, compared to this, and I see that it's not an optimal comparison because those are clearly alpha proxies, but I don't know, the artwork seems a little too dark. The color seems a little bit off. I'm not really, I don't really care about those, and I don't think they are really quite good, to be honest. Next up we have Caracas and the Tabernacle. The Caracas looks, I don't know, looks fake to me. Looks really strange. I don't really have a comparison here. The Tabernacle is really really bad. I don't know if the camera picks up on this, but there is also like a moire effect here. That it looks like it was it's a scan from an already screen printed or machine printed image, and not a scan from a reproduction from an original painting. So that's really really bad. Even an unschooled eye instantly picks up on this. It's like dots and lines. It's really bad. Then we have the Abyss, Nether Void, the Chusam Chin, so old black cards from, I think, just Alpha and like, what do we have here, Legends. Again, sorry guys, I don't really have a good comparison here for you. Oldest card I could find is like, I think it's a 4th edition Death Grip. So, I mean, it's black, right? But the cards themselves already have like really distinct color differences here, so I'm not impressed at all. The Nether Void artwork looks really really wrong. The Chusam Chin colors look off. They're not good. Not good. Next we have the Candelabra of Thanos. Well, to be honest, it kind of looks fine. I really don't know about the colors. I don't know. Next up is Mana Drain. It's really bad again. As you can really quickly see if you've seen this card again before, the artwork is way too dark. It's way too dark. Should be much lighter. Again, here I have I think that might be Chronicles or something. Blue card, oldest blue card I could find, and I don't know if the camera picks up on this, but the color is off. I think, again, I know it's not a perfect comparison, but I think the blue might be off. It seems a little too warm. Seems to lack a little green tint, and yeah, overall, I mean, you don't really have to look at the frame too much because the artwork is already so off. You can instantly see that this is not a good proxy. Then we have Bazaar and Mishra's Workshop. Again, I don't really care about those cards. I don't want to play these cards, so let's not talk about these. Now those are interesting. Again, I'm a commander player, and I don't really like, you know, graveyard recursion decks too much, so I don't really have a use for those. But at first glance, they look nice. The Goyfs. But something bugged me again about the hue and the color. So I looked if I could find some comparison material for those, and I found like a Sephiroth Ancient, and I hope the camera will camera picks. You should show this. You should see this at home. The Sephiroth Ancient, there's a lot more yellow going on in the green. If you can see this, it's a warmer, more yellowish green. And Yeah, it's just the wrong color. And we have a similar problem with the Tarmogoyf. I don't own any of those cards in real, like for real, but compared to a Nessian Asp, which is a Theros card, which should be really looking quite similar. You can see here that the color is way off. It's also lacking detail, and there is little artifacts from retouching that you can see if you take a closer look. So yeah, you can, even if you don't compare it to the original, like if you have another original green card from approximately the same era, you can really quickly see that this is not the real thing. So next we have the revised dual lands, right? So that was one thing that caught my attention really early. At the first look they were kind of okay. There are some, like the Underground Sea. I don't know all of those in the original version. I think I am familiar with most. The Badlands seems a little too dark, the border especially, and the Underground Sea, the artwork seems too, I don't know how to say it, like cheerful, like too colorful or almost oversaturated, and the colors are a little off as well. Too much red in there going on. I don't know. It doesn't look like the real thing. And the thing that caught my eye really early was the like the two colored pattern. There's this noise going on. Like if you see here where it should be just green, it gets yellow, green, yellow again. There's this like aberrations in here, and they definitely shouldn't be there. And this goes on as well, and on the tropical island there's the same thing like going on here, and yeah, that doesn't look too great. And then on the last two, like, and which are the plateau and the Badlands. The lettering is really nice on all of those. So you can see here, it's really crisp and sharp. But on the plateau and on the Badlands, I don't know if you can see this, but here the letters are, well, they're not that sharp and not that crisp. So someone messed up here. Also on the illustration line here, if you look at this on the right, it's nice and crisp, and on the left something went wrong. So yeah, don't know. Not really impressed with those either. So next up we have Chase the Mind Sculptor. Also a card at first glance it looked kinda okay. I don't know about the expansion symbol. I don't own almost any worldwide cards, so I don't have any mythic worldwide cards, so I couldn't compare it. It kind of looked strange to me. So I don't really have a comparison for this. I only have a Mysteries of the Deep, and I don't know. It just doesn't look like those are two cards that come from the same expansion. But again, it's not really a good comparison. But something's also not quite right here. Same goes with the with the Liliana colors, the overall look, I don't know, something's off here. Next we have the Force of Will. This actually looks okay to me. I don't really have again, I don't really have a good card to compare it to. I have a Sapphire Charm from Mirage. If you compare them side by side, you see that again the colors do not really match. There's again like a little green missing in the Force of Will. Also the details, they don't really seem to match. But all in all, it's okay. It's nice enough, I guess. Next is the Sensei's Divining Top. Don't really know why this is in here, because it's not that an expensive card. Finally, a card I do own in the original, so we can finally do a real side-by-side comparison. Yeah, this is actually decent. What you can see here is that they seem to have done their own expansion symbols. If you compare them side by side, it looks like they retouched them out of the original and then made their own and replaced them with this. So on the left you have the original, on the right the proxy. So you see it's not really the same symbol, doesn't really match. Color wise it seems quite alright actually. There's maybe it's a little too bright, but all in all I guess it's a decent proxy. The same really goes for the other cards from this era. It's like Blood Moon and Dark Confidant, and we have a Vendilion Click. Those all seem fine. Then we have a Snapcaster Mage that's completely off. It looks really wrong. It starts with it's like the bars for the creature subtypes and the name. They're light blue. They should be gray. I have here a card from M11, which is the closest thing I could find, and I mean they should match up way more color-wise, hue-wise, and lightness-wise. So that's really different. Too blue, too like again oversaturated. Details lacking. Also the artwork seems a little too like oversaturated as well, and a little too dark maybe. And no, it's just wrong, just not there. And this one you can immediately spot. You see it, and it's just, yeah, that's not a real Magic card. Then we have a Mutavault, which is like fine, and we have a Cavern of Souls, which is like not really fine. That's all the colors are off again, and we have really strong artifacts in the name bars, and the hue of the text box is really, I don't know what that is, but it's not good. It looks strange. Next we have a couple of really nice lands. Wasteland, City of Traders, Gaia's Cradle, Rishadan, Port, and Ancient Tomb. And I have a couple of really good comparisons here for you. I think at first glance they really look nice. They really look legit. If you compare the text boxes, there's a lot of variance there. So those don't look really spot on, but I think they look nice enough. I have here from one of my commander decks a gold border ancient tomb, and if you compare them side by side, you can see that they are actually quite nice. The text box is maybe a little too dark. The artwork is strangely enough looking better on the proxy for some reason. That seems almost like there's more detail in here, but there is a little difference, but just it's just nuances. And yeah, all in all, it's yeah, it's quite close. Looks nice. Then here I have a Gaia's Cradle, and although the proxy looks nice on at the first glance, if you compare the artworks here, you see that there's a big difference in the hue and contrast of the images, especially here in the right part of the image. You see that in the original it's more a grayish brown and a little darker, and the proxy is just off. The hue is just off. The text box is again oversaturated. There's too much color going on here. But overall it looks fine. Just when you compare it to the original, you can see it's not really there. And the Rishaden port, I also have a gold border version of this card, and there you can see that for some reason now we have the opposite problem. Now we have a little not enough saturation going on in the artwork, but the text box seems to be okay in this case, and overall yeah, seems to be a nice proxy. Maybe the card's frame color is not really there. Seems to be lacking a little red, but that could also be the reprint of the gold border cards. So I don't know. Seems nice to me. Then we have a Grove. Don't really have a comparison for this. Also seems a little oversaturated to me. Yeah. And next we have the original Fetchlands, the Onslaught Fetchlands. First glance, they seemed okay to me, but when you have a closer look, some of the artworks seem too dark. Some of the artworks seem too bright. So there's definitely problems with the artworks. And then again, if you have a look, the text boxes, again, there's too much color going on. They're oversaturated, and there's strange noise going on in the text boxes. Yeah, something just doesn't seem to be really right here. So yeah, if you have a look here, this one seems okay actually, but the greens and the yellows especially, they don't seem to be really nice. I don't have a good comparison for you here, but if you have a look, I have a German dual land from the Torment set, And if you compare the yellows here, you see that's well, it's not even close. The original is more like it's more like an orangey, like tan yellow, and here it's like almost a green. So yeah, that doesn't look right. And same goes for the black. If you compare the black part of the card, yeah, that's also not where it should be. Here we have the dual land from Invasion. So this is not the perfect comparison, but you see how big the difference is here with the blue-black text boxes. So not really good. So last but not least, we have the Seneca Fetches, all 5 of them here. Yeah, they actually they look okay. Maybe the artworks, especially the Arid Mesa, because it's an artwork I like very much and I know a little better. That's just again, it's too dark. Maybe a little oversaturated again here, but not that much. Again here, the picture, the artwork, it's not really there. There's something wrong with it. The Verdant Catacombs actually look, in my opinion, they look the best of those 5. And the Marsh Flats here, also okay-ish. I don't really have a good card to compare them to. I have a Raging Ravine from Worldwake here. So maybe we can compare those side by side. And then you see that it's actually close. But if you have a closer look, you can see that there's also some details in the frame missing. If you see on the right side, like in this area here, you can see there's a lot more detail going on. And yeah, but all in all, those are okay, I guess. And then we have 2 like bonus cards, and I don't really understand. This is really a really bad Masters version of the Cavern of Souls, with a lot of artifacts in the name bar as well as in the artwork. It's a really bad one. And then we have the Flooded Strand, which is a non-foil version of the Expedition, which makes absolutely no sense at all, because any person picks up on this instantly, because it's just not foil, and there's no version of this card in existence that is not foil. But what is interesting, those are two cards. They actually have a foil stamp, and this is probably really difficult to get this on the camera. But the foil stamps here, they have like they have these these single cells where there is either a Planeswalker logo or like a red mana logo, like the fireball from the red mana. and they don't change. So they are like colorful holo stickers, and at this first and second glance they look really legit. But if you really compare them to the original thing, let me quickly grab an original card here. Then you see that the original logo, you have those Planeswalker logos, and then they change into the other thing, right? So you first have the it's really hard on the camera, but I mean, you can take any card at home and try this, and you should probably know this. So let's try to compare those now. And with the original foil stems, it's like you have it's always another color symbol, right? Sometimes you have like you have like the skull from the black mana, and sometimes you have the white mana. And with the fake foil stems here, it's always the same. It's like a planeswalker symbol, and then it's like a fireball from the red mana, and that's it. So, I mean, you have to respect the effort that went into this, but again, if you have a close look, you can see the difference, right? Yo. So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed this, and it was informative for you. Yeah, I think those are well, don't buy those. Well, that does it for this video. I hope you liked it. I hope it was informative. Maybe something that I didn't mention before, the card backs. We didn't really compare those. They are not really there. They also have like some color hue issues. There's also like a little yellow missing. That seems to be an overall problem. There's everything is a little too warm and lacking a little yellow, and it's oversaturated, most of the cards. The feel of the cards is also really not the same as original Magic cards, but I guess you would play these at least in sleeves, maybe even double sleeved, so that's not really that important of a factor. I can't really recommend to buy those. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like it, subscribe if you want, and have a nice day.